Wishing you all happiness, clarity, and freedom on another day. Today is a wonderful day, and today we're actually in the Freedom headquarters. We're not outside today, even though it's a nice day out. I'll be going out later. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're living your best life today. I hope you are doing okay with all of these crazy energies. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to say that there are like crazy energies going on right now on this planet. There is so much going on in my life. There is probably a lot going on in your life as well. Mars is coming right up on Uranus and the North Node. We got Mars, Uranus, North Node conjunction, square to Saturn. It's all so crazy. So I want to say that, if you're dealing with a lot of energies right now, if you're dealing with a lot of transformation, you're feeling crazy, you're feeling overwhelmed, there's a lot going on in your life, I just want to say, you will make it through. We will make it through this. This is going to pass. This is not going to last forever. This is going to pass. So keep reminding yourself of this. Keep reminding yourself that these transits, they always come and they always go, right? We always come across these hard transits, but it's going to pass. In fact, right now, Mars is actually 19 degrees of Taurus. It's actually passing Uranus and the North Node. So we're getting past this. The energy is still very high. It's very crazy. So take care of yourself, okay? Protect your energy at this time. Understand that it's not going to be easy, but you will make it through. We will make it through. Today, I'm going to be talking about the dark side of a spiritual awakening. The dark side of a spiritual awakening. Because here's the thing, a spiritual awakening isn't all light. It is not all love and light. That is not the truth, okay? And some of us, including myself, going into a spiritual awakening, we have the idea that this is going to be all amazing. Nothing is going to be bad about this. My life is going to be so fantastic with no problems, and I'm going to be living my best life, and there's going to be no issues once I have a spiritual awakening, once I reach this certain point of enlightenment. But that is not true. The truth is that it is a perpetual journey. It is an ever evolving, ever unfolding journey, the spiritual journey. And, when I first had my spiritual awakening, I kind of came in with the idea that this is going to be amazing. My life is changed forever. And I am evolved and I no longer have to worry about anything. But no, that's not the truth. There is, dark sides to having a spiritual awakening. And what I'm learning about the human experience is that it's never just all positive. It's never reach a certain point and then you're good. It's not like that, okay? The human experience, the human life is about constant evolution, constant growth. We are always going to be growing and evolving and learning, okay? As long as we are on this planet, as long as you are on this planet, you are going to be growing, you're going to be learning, you're going to be evolving, you're going to be learning new things about yourself every single day. And it's not going to be easy at times. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a rough process, but you got to be here for it, okay? So what are some of the dark sides of having a spiritual awakening? So, when I first had my spiritual awakening, one of the hardest things to deal with was feeling so alienated from the rest of society. Okay, so around September of 2020, I started to change. Major changes started to happen in my life. I started to eat the vegan diet. I started to meditate. And I stopped doing a lot of things as well. That's also very key. I stopped playing so much video games. I stopped watching so much TV. I stopped having an interest in a lot of the things that I was interested in before, right? And also, I stopped hanging out with a lot of friends that I used to hang out with all the time. Some of my closest friends. I lost some of my closest friends. And all these changes, caused me to kind of become separated from the rest of society, kind of separated from my family, separated from my friends. And if you're going through this right now, I want to remind you that, it may seem like you are super alienated, like you are super separated from society, but it is a wonderful thing in disguise, because we don't want to be following the majority crowd. We don't want to be following the crowd. The crowd is moving in one big direction. The entire crowd, the entire general population moves in a certain direction. If you are moving against the grain, if you are doing the unpopular thing, chances are you are doing the right thing. Chances are you are on the right path and you are following your unique heart. Chances are you are following your life purpose. You are on the right path. So if you feel separated, if you feel disconnected, this can be a dark side of spiritual awakening. We can feel lonely. We can feel lost. A lot of times along my journey, it's just been me against the world. I have my own certain way of living, my own ideas now about life. Like, I believe eating healthy, eating fresh fruits and vegetables, whole foods, is the way that we should all be eating. And, a lot of people around me aren't thinking this way. A lot of people around me also are still, watching TV, doing things that I stopped doing and things that I don't have an interest in anymore. But, around me, all these people are still doing these things. So, if I'm interacting with my family or the people around me and we have a disagreement, I don't have anyone on my side. It's just me. It's just me against everyone. That has been a huge struggle. That has been a major dark side of, having a spiritual awakening. It's been me against the world. And you probably feel this way. You have nobody on your side in your life. I felt like I have nobody on my side. No one's here to back me up. No one's here to back up my beliefs, because no one believes in the things that I believe in. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, right? So if you feel this way, if you feel like you have nobody on your side to back up your beliefs, no one to agree with you, right? No one agrees with me in my life. I feel like no one agrees with me in my life, and I have to I've realized that I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to prove anything in my life. I don't have to prove why I eat the way I do. I don't have to prove why I do the things that I do, why I live the way that I live. Okay, I simply just have to be and send love to everyone that is around me. That is the key. So if you're going through this, if you feel like you are, it's you against the world, like nobody is on your side, remind yourself that, we just have to send love to these people around us. We just have to send love to these people around us. We can't try to prove ourselves to anybody that doesn't think the way we think. We can't try to prove ourselves to anybody. We just have to send love to everyone. And that is the key, because the energy that you put out is the energy that you're going to get back. The energy that you put out is the energy that you are going to get back. So if you are putting out the energy of trying to prove yourself, if you're putting out the energy of trying to prove a certain thing, that's the ego energy. You're going to get that right back at you, right? So that is something that I am learning, and that is something that I have learned. Okay, a major dark side of this spiritual awakening is that we can be alone. We can feel lost. We can feel like we have to prove ourselves and prove our way of life, but we don't have to do that, okay? We just have to put out positive energy, accept everyone for who they are, accept yourself for who you are, and then you will get that energy back. Okay, so that's one dark side of the spiritual awakening, something that I've had to work through a lot, something that you have probably had to work through a lot as well. Another dark side of the spiritual awakening is that once you have a major spiritual awakening, once you have a major spiritual breakthrough, there is no going back. There is no going back to your old way of life. This has been something I've thought about a lot, how so much in my life has changed, right? I no longer eat the things I used to eat. I no longer do the things I used to do. I no longer think the way I used to think. I no longer vibrate the way that I used to vibrate. And I'm realizing that this is the new normal. The 5D Earth, the leveling up, the process of leveling up, the process of learning and growth and positivity and expansion. This is the new normal. There is no going back to sitting down and just eating whatever I want to eat, watching whatever I want to watch, doing whatever I want to do. There is no going back to that way of life. There is no going back to the unconscious lifestyle. This is, this can be a dark side of the spiritual awakening, realizing that now that I'm woke, now that I am more spiritually aligned and spiritually in tune, there is no going back to my old way of life. There is no going back, because sometimes I've started to slip into these old patterns, and the thing is that I catch myself now. I'm too aware. I'm too consciously aware to fully slip back into my old way of life, right? The habits that I used to do, the things that I used to do every single day, I can't go back to them. And it's really all about your daily habits. It's really all about what you are doing every single day. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? What are you doing when you wake up? What are you doing before you go to sleep? What are you doing every single day? I can't go back to what I was doing every single day. And this can be a dark side. This can be something that you have to come to terms with. This can be something that a lot of us aren't ready for. Okay? And I'm pretty young still, and it's crazy to have changed so much this early in my life, to have this many changes. I was on a certain timeline in the beginning of my life. I was set in a certain direction from the way my family raised me, from the way my parents raised me, from the way this society raised me. You're set on a certain motion, an energetic motion, based off the things you do every single day, the way you think, the things that you eat, just everything that you're consuming. We're set on this motion, and I broke away from that path. I broke away from that cycle, from that motion. And now I'm realizing that now that I broke away from that, I'm on a completely new timeline. And no one is here to instill their beliefs on me. No one's here to instill their way of life on me. I am now living my own life, okay? Living the life that is truly resonant with me. And there is no going back to my old way of life, because why would I ever go back, right? Why would I ever choose to do the things that I used to do that weren't serving me, that weren't serving my highest purpose, my highest self? Why would I fully commit to going back to that life? Now, I'm not saying that we are completely gone from our old way of life. Like, there are things that I used to do that I still do from time to time now. There are some things that I do, like I still read books sometimes, still play video games sometimes, I still talk to people that I used to talk to. It's not like I'm completely different, and I'm still on the journey. We're all still growing. We're always still growing. So, we're always going to be letting go of things. We're always going to be moving forward. But it's really been tough sometimes to realize that I am a changed person. There are things that I used to do that I'm not going to go back to doing, at least on a consistent basis, right? I'm not going to go back to the way of life that I used to be living. That's not going to happen. It just can't happen because of how aware I am now. It just can't happen. So that's one dark side of having a spiritual awakening. It's realizing that your life is a completely new life. You are living a completely new reality now. And you can't go back to that old reality that you used to be living. So this is a dark side, right, of spiritual awakening. But it's also such an amazing thing. It's so amazing that we're living new lives. It's so amazing that we've changed so much and that we're moving forward. So with a lot of these dark aspects of the spiritual awakening, it's important to turn them into positive things. Turn them into things, into wonderful things. Because the truth is that you can turn anything into a positive thing. You can turn anything into a positive thing. There is no good and bad. There is no things that are set as good and bad. You can always shift your perspective. You can always shift your mindset and turn anything into a positive thing. So always remind yourself of that. Okay, that's the power of your mind. Your mind can literally do anything. Okay, so another dark side of spiritual awakening is that life now just seems super weird, super different, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. Life just overall seems way different than it used to. And honestly, this has a lot to do with the Great Conjunction and how the collective consciousness is rising and how everything's changing. The trees are changing, the sunlight's changing, the air is changing, the energy's changing, everything's changing. Okay, everything's changing. But life feels so much more weird than it used to. And this can feel really like a negative thing sometimes. Like, why does life feel so strange? Like, what is this? Where even am I? Like, what am I doing here? Life can feel super strange, and you can feel super lost, and you can feel super uncertain. And, these feelings get pretty deep, and it's hard to deal with sometimes. It can be a major dark side, when your third eye is open, and when you're having these feelings, and you're having these visions, and you're feeling these feelings. It's all about feeling. When we have these feelings, it feels like super strange, and it can be even scary at times when we just feel super weird about life. Life just feels super weird. It can feel super strange, and we can feel like an alien. But if you're feeling this, if you're going through this, it always passes. Sometimes I have a little stretch of time where I feel these feelings. I feel super weird. Life feels super strange. Life feels super weird. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then, the next hour, an hour passes, and I'm feeling completely different. I start listening to some 528 hertz, the miracle tone. And guys, this miracle tone, this miracle frequency is so powerful for raising your vibration. It's so powerful for lifting you up, lifting your mood. And it's something that I've been using along my journey for like about 2 years now. The 432 hertz, the 528 hertz. The solfeggio frequencies, they are so powerful. Okay, so there are things we can do to raise our vibration when we're feeling lost, when we're feeling super weird, when we're feeling this way. There are always things that you can do to raise your vibration. So always remember this. You're never stuck in a certain vibration. You're never stuck in a certain pattern of thinking. You can always break free. You can always raise your vibration. You can always do it. That's what's so beautiful. The present moment is always there. It's not going anywhere. You can always choose to focus back on the present moment whenever you want. It's not going anywhere. You can always just go back to it, and that's so beautiful about this life. We always get a second chance. It's never too late. It is never too late, okay? So never give up hope. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like life is super weird, like life is super strange, never give up hope, okay? Because everything comes and everything goes. You can feel super drained in one moment, and then the next moment you can feel so alive. You can feel super alive the next moment. So always keep this in mind. So those are some of the dark sides of having a spiritual awakening. You know, if you're feeling these things, like I said, you will get through it. This is all part of the journey. You are on the right you are on the right path. You are on the right path, I guarantee you. If you're watching this video, and if you're still watching this video to this point, you are on the right path. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. I love you so much. I want you to hit that like button. It really helps me, and it really puts my videos out there so more people can hear these positive messages. Thank you all for tuning in. Comment down below what you are thinking. Comment down below what you think about spiritual awakening. Some of, your dark sides that you're experiencing on your spiritual awakening. Let me know in the comments below. I love you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to Freedom Speaks. And make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.